is apologize to you guys because I thought we'd be better. That was the picture that I was painting. And there's reasons why they're not better, but my gut told me that this team, my gut from the beginning did not think this team was going to win a national championship, but I thought they would be undefeated entering this Alabama game. That's what I thought. And it still could have happened, weirdly. 2 fourth-quarter games, they had a chance there. I'm not alone in that thinking either. A lot of you at home, work, wherever you may be, thought the exact same thing. Now, I didn't foresee the injuries. How could you? The amount of injuries that has really plagued this team. I did not think that the offensive line would struggle to the point that they have struggled. I knew there would be some growing pains, but I thought they'd be able to run the ball every game. And it's been a minute, and then they were able to run the ball a little bit. I didn't think the quarterback position would struggle as much as it had. And I knew when Haynes went down early on, game 2, they would take a step back. But the quarterback position also took I didn't expect it to be so much of a struggle. I also thought that this defense would keep the Aggies in games. I'm thinking this is one of the best defenses in the country, one of the best running games in the country. We saw it last year. Most of those things didn't change. You know, I had the same talking points that the national media had. Great run game, great defense. Yeah, I thought all that. But here we are, and where do the Aggies go? And one final thing before we start with OB here. I'm inviting you guys to have a conversation with us today. Your perspective is valued on today's show. We will have a Festivus, if you will, airing of the grievances at some point throughout the show. I have it penciled in for 8:35, but whenever, because I want to hear from you guys. But I don't want stupid calls either or stupid text messages. Let's have a conversation about what's going on. And with that, I'll give you guys the phone number, the BCSI hotline, 979-693-1150. Or you can text the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. A very long-winded way to get to the Go Hour with my good buddy, Olin Buchanan here. OB, Heisman Trophy voter, good friend, potential Heisman Trophy winner. What's going on, man?
I think I'm still trying to make sense of everything that's happened. And, look, I think there's a lot of programs that would struggle as soon as they lost their starting quarterback. Now, Clemson still has the guy they thought was going to be that they projected to be.
But they're replacing a stud who went to the NFL like the Aggies did.
But at least they have their guy that they so it's just been that kind of year. That said, I agree with you on the defense part. Coming into the year, I remember we were having this conversation. I was saying, I think you're agreeing with me, and I know Billy did, that I would have ranked A&M somewhere between 15 and 11 because of the new quarterback and the new guys in the offensive line. Because I would say, we think they're going to be better, but if you had those same issues anywhere else, new quarterback, 4 new offensive linemen, you would rank them a little bit further down. But I didn't see what has transpired coming. And there's injuries are a huge factor. But a team is not the starting 11. The team is, depth. Alabama, for instance, well, they always, have more, but they've lost some guys on defense. Well, doesn't seem like they're getting any worse. But for A&M, I think you made a really good point. You don't have your starting quarterback, and you've had linemen in and out of the hurt and for various things, and your defense has been kind of hit and miss, and yet you were in 2 games that you lost that you were in the fourth quarter with a chance to either win or tie, and just didn't take advantage of those chances. So if you had your number 1 quarterback, would you be 5-0 now? Yeah, maybe good chance.
But in today's college football, I don't know, because nobody's good. There's 2 teams that are clearly above everybody else. There's a couple of other undefeated teams, but there's more than a couple other undefeated teams. But even the undefeated teams, I'm not convinced with Oklahoma.
Oh, why would you be?
I'm not convinced with Cincinnati. And yeah, they had a nice victory this weekend, but I don't think they'll be challenged for a while. We'll see how their season plays out. So, we thought Arkansas was great after what happened. They're not that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything but Alabama and Georgia. And the beat that I'm supposed to know, the Texas A&M beat, I can't figure this team out because It is unacceptable the way they played defense this past weekend.
I agree, and I thought the scheme was flawed. I got it. I understand the idea behind it.
But it wasn't working.
It wasn't working, so adjust. The three-man rush, okay, it worked last year, but this year it wasn't working, and Will Rogers, who's no longer, when he was in there, last year it was KJ Costello, but Will Rogers played. But
that wasn't Aaron Rodgers?
No, it was Will Rogers.
You're sure? Because, he
could have, but but when you're not harassed really at all, and you can sit back and your defense wants to form that umbrella, but I'm going to form that umbrella 10 yards back and invite you to take the 5-yard pass. Well, I am not a mathematician, but I think I know enough that if I can hit 5 yards every time, I'm going to keep getting first downs and just go down the field. I was saying it's like, look, I don't want to play roulette because, I can lose my money too fast, so I'm going to play Keno and just sit there and lose it slowly. I'm still losing. I'm just losing slowly.
I'm still at a loss because this season, no matter what happens the rest of the way, they go on a huge win streak, will not live up to what I thought it could have been.
Oh.
And that is, I don't want to call it my fault because you can't predict injuries, right? And there's no guarantee with Haynes King they win these last 2 games. I think they do, but I don't know.
No, there's no guarantees, no.
And the thing that I think is frustrating is whatever is happening on offense has now shifted to the entire team to where I don't think the defense is playing with that same tenacity we saw early on. I'm not seeing it. Now, am I overreacting to one game? I don't know. There's 2 games in a row, 300 yards in the first half against Arkansas, and then, 430, whatever Mississippi State had in total yards. Just ridiculous numbers against a team that returned most of the defense.
Well, the other part to that is, and I agree that I thought, again, that the scheme was flawed, but then I have to take a step back and say, and yet the defense gave up, 21 points?
Yeah.
Should win if you only allow 21 points. I can't, 2 was on a safety and 3 was gift wrapped on the second play of the game interception.
Right.
Well, defense played well to hold them to a field goal. But, you give up the touchdown just for the half. And that's something that A&M has had a problem with for years, is in certain games just being able to close out the half.
They had the lead with, 2 minutes left? Maybe 3 minutes left?
About 2.5, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember they took a timeout, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and look at my notes. They took a timeout before kicking the field goal. And I'm like, man, it probably wouldn't have mattered because there was still clock left when but don't you want to just make sure Leach has as little time as possible? So, yeah.
The entire season has not felt right. And to me, it goes back to SEC media days with the news that happened. It's just like everything is like all these bubbles have been busted, month after month, week after week. And even in the games where they won, we wanted to believe that they were better than they showed. After 5 games, there's no magic potion they're going to take that automatically they can block better. I do think they're going to get better. And you know what? Zach has probably gotten better in some respect.
Well, he's gotten better in that he's starting to make some better decisions. He's figured out to just throw the ball away if he's in trouble.
Yeah.
And his interception wasn't his fault. And he was decisive when he decided to scramble and he got a touchdown. Now, I think, and this is easy for me to say, and he's probably told to do this, I think he's going into the slide sometimes way too early and sacrificing, 4 and 5 yards.
Yeah, he had a first down on, I think, one of that first slides where he just looked like Altuve out there. Just go in.
But I'm also wondering is how much is Fisher saying, look, I don't have anybody else ready. You slide.
Sure.
So there's, you got to take that under consideration. I'll say this: if you're looking for reasons to have hope, or just beyond this week, I think they made a really good move, a wise move, in putting Kenyon Green back at guard.
Yep.
And I think you saw some benefits to that. They actually ran the ball pretty well. They had some big chunk plays, but they also had some plays where they ran the other direction and it blew up in their face. So they still got some things to do on the right side. But I think they got a lot better with Kenyon Green at guard.
Yeah, look, it's disappointing. And those of you who thought we were excited, or not excited, we're finding positives after the Arkansas game, the only positive coming out of that Arkansas game was that you had a chance in the fourth quarter. That was the positive. Yeah. Nobody was okay with the way that game turned out, and nobody's okay with the way this game turned out. I asked a question to Billy, I think during the post-game wrap, and I said, and with time, I've realized my point was not great, but I'll say it out loud. I'm thinking to myself in the middle of that game, during the emotion of a game, the highs and lows, how you feel in that moment. I'm like, even if they win this game, this team's not very good. That's what I'm thinking. What does it matter? Well, it does matter, because getting a victory there does not, to me, put a Band-Aid on all the flaws that we're seeing with this team, but it sure feels better for the big picture. And we'll talk about it later in the show, but where do you go from here? Just play your butts off. You play inspired football against Alabama. Inspired football. I'm sure there are some people who are picking the Aggies, but that's not even what Saturday is about. And it's not about moral victories either. I'm talking just play inspired football. Give me something to believe in moving forward. Because after Alabama, you have some very winnable games.
Well, I would think after Alabama, every game is winnable. I mean, comparing scores usually is a fool's errand, but LSU and Mississippi State were pretty much the very even. A&M-Mississippi State were very even. Auburn and LSU were even. Missouri just got taken to the house, the woodshed, by Tennessee, which I don't think any of us are. We wonder how good they are. South Carolina struggling, Ole Miss, I don't think you're going to, at this point, I don't think you're going to be able to score with them. Okay.
No.
And
you can't stop.
So, but I do, and I think we'll all say that on Friday, we're probably taking Alabama and giving the points based on what we've seen. What have we seen that would tell you not to do that? So, but I'm thinking that there is an opportunity to win 5 or 6 games in the second half of the season. Now, will they do that? I'm not ready to say that, but there's going to be this opportunity. There are games against teams that you match up well with. If you get some things figured out. And again, I think the first step toward figuring some things out was you took Kenyon Green and put him at left guard where he was an All-American instead of weakening your offensive line at 2 spots.
Right.
You're starting to get back to, okay, what were we good at? So is that going to solve all the problems? No. You're going to have to get some guys. I wonder if there's some guys that are having trouble, and this is just me, I don't have any inside knowledge, but I wonder if there's some guys having a trouble between distinguishing being hurt and being injured. I still go back to the 2 guys at Arkansas that were out all week in practice, but by gosh, they came out and played against A&M, the 2 offensive linemen, and played pretty well. And A&M's had a couple of, some starters out, and I just don't know the severity of the injuries. How can I? But you keep hearing, well, there may be day to day. Yeah, right. They may be day to day. Well, for 2 or 3 weeks, they've been day to day. So how severe can it be if it's day to day?
Get out there and play. Hey, let's do this. I know Chris is on hold. We'll get to him in the next segment, but let's go around and say hello. We'll start off with Dalton. Good morning to you, Dalton.
Morning. Happy Monday. Yeah. Not fun.
No, it's not fun. And it's funny. I was talking to Billy yesterday before our luchador shoot, and I'm like, I'm just in this fog. And I know you feel it. We all feel it. We've been here before, but just this one hurts a little bit more than I'm used to, Dalton.
They all feel the same eventually.
We
don't have to play.
You're numb.
We don't have to play the games. I mean, we don't feel anything.
This is true. Let's go to the News and Social Center. Anna Rosa Peterson, good morning to you. Mike?
the rest of us.
There she is.
Yeah, you're on
now. Is my mic on? All right.
There we go.
Yeah. Hanging in there. Trying not to be fazed by these text messages.
Well, we don't have a topic today, but exactly. I know some people are starting to get in there. Anything you want to share with us this morning?
Yeah, we'll start with Jim from Temple. He says, yes, the Hogs get all kinds of pressure in Aggie backfield with a rush 3 drop 8 scheme, which UGA pounded into submission. Fast forward a week later at Kyle in front of the 12th man, an experienced veteran Aggie D-line with rotation depth could get virtually no pressure on Rodgers and a much lesser O-line than UGA has, mostly rush 3 drop 8, occasionally bringing one extra guy. So he stands there, carves up for 3 touchdowns, 408 yards. Aggie football so far in 2021 has been a vast underachievement in so many areas going into Bama week.
Thank you very much, Ana Rosa. We'll drop it there. You look like you want to say something.
No, go ahead, because Chris is a good guy. Well, let's get into the break and
get Chris
as
on
soon
here
as we can.
So we'll open up the phone lines next segment. If you want to get in, you can 979-693-1150. That is the BCSI hotline. You can text the show as well, 979-693-1150. It's TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
You're listening to The Zone. Aggieland's all sports station.
Vera Bank is open and we are excited to serve you in College Station. Hi, this is Erica Archer, Treasury Management Officer at Vera Bank, and I specialize in helping businesses run their day-to-day operations more efficiently, saving you valuable time. Our team's job is to make yours easier. So give us a call or come by and see us off of Highway 6. At Vera Bank, you have a team of genuine bankers on your side, and you can bank on it.
Visit verabank.com today. That's VERA bank.com. Vera Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Howdy, y'all. This is Cullen Gillespie, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field, and now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half. It takes less than 5 minutes and you'll save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every year. 90% of Texans overpay for electricity, so don't be one of them. Sign up today at EnergyOgre.com and use code GILLY, G-I-L-L-Y, for a free month of service.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family.
Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
My community means everything to me. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The training and leadership skills I get from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people and look out for my community. If you'd like to learn how you too can serve part-time in the community you love, visit nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Texas Army National Guard, aired by the Texas Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
I think Joe Burrow's done a terrific job since his time as a starting quarterback. He's young, he's learning, he has a little bit of experience, but not enough experience to win that division. Jamar Chase was the right pick for them and what they want to do in the passing game. The only problem that I have is, can you keep Joe Burrow upright and not on his back throwing the football to a guy that they targeted the entire time?
Yeah, protection is key, but I also think that the mental reassurance after seeing Joe Burrow get hit a couple of times, after seeing him make some people miss. I don't think everyday people who haven't gone through injury understand how dynamic that can make you feel when you start to trust your body again. There's a certain level, like when you get hurt, like you don't trust yourself at the same level, but when you start doing things like that, you start to believe in your own ability, and that can unleash different opportunities.
Listen in to Key, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor from 5 to 8 on The Zone.
We weren't doing a good job covering in man, so we were trying to mix man and zone, trying to pick places to go. And we'll look at the film and see what we can and cannot do. And make that judgment when we look at the film.
Jimbo Fisher there, TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Jimbo breaking it all down. Got to do better defensively, guys. They've got to do better defensively. It is the Go Hour. OB's in the house. We're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We have no show topic, but we are allowing you to air your grievances OB and I will do that here at 8:35, but we'll get to some of these callers right now. Let's now go to the BCSI hotline. Chris in Belleville joining the show wants to talk about Zach Calzada. Chris, how are you, sir?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, sir.
I think we're just giving Calzada a hard time, and people are so critical of him. First play of the drive, Demas, ball hit them in the hip. You're a big-time wide receiver, so they say. Interception. Second drive, the run-pass option. Demas is wide open. Who does he go with? Somebody he trusts, A-Chain, but he should have went to Demas, but he's scared that the dude's going to drop it. Then when the kid finally gets going, has a long run, scores a touchdown, walking off the field, I guess you're celebrating, everybody's celebrating with him. I guess he didn't understand Jimbo was going for two after that. Then he gets in trouble for that. So I just feel like everybody else needs to help the guy out as well. Big key drops and big key plays where, hey, we make those plays, we win a ball game. He hits Anais in the corner, we win a ball game. But I just think his confidence is beat up.
I think you have a great point there, and you could see it. Obi, we were talking about it at the break. Thanks for your call, Chris. That the video that our friends posted, was it Mike Lucas who posted it, of Calzada leaving the field, how dejected and how just, you think we as fans and media didn't enjoy that game. He was going through the exact same thing to a much bigger extent. He does need some help on the confidence train, right? His teammates need to pick him up. And I'm not just talking about pats on the bat. I'm talking about making a play when there's plays to be made and giving him that confidence.
Agree. That first interception was not on him. I mean, it wasn't a perfect pass, but it was he hit the guy.
Right.
Could he have, if you want to say, oh yeah, he should have, like everybody did on Calamon, he should have thrown it 6 inches further inside, hit him on the number. No, if the ball hits you as a receiver at this level, catch the ball. Especially I'm talking about the torso. Right. You're not even having to extend. But he had that moment. He had some good pass. I thought the touchdown pass he threw to Wademeyer was as nice a throw as you can make. So you see the talent that the guy has right now. I think it's the game must still be just moving too fast for him. You think about the pass he threw to Isaiah Spiller to win the Colorado game, and then that pass. But then, the game's on the line. You had a chance to take the lead late, and I said, he had Anais Smith open. If he throws even half as nice a pass as he threw to Wademeyer, A&M has the lead.
The clutch gene right now isn't there. Well, it was there in Colorado, so I take that back. But in Arkansas, the interception of Bryce Foster's head, the safety at the end of the last game. The number here, 979-693-1150. It is the BCSI hotline. We now go to Joaquin, who wants to talk a little bit about the Aggies. Joaquin, welcome to TexAgs Radio.
Hey, good morning, Dave and Obi. Thank you for taking my call today. It's a tough Monday because I feel like the season is over. I think Obi said we could win a lot of the games. And to be honest, I see our record into the season 6-6, maybe 7-5, but I think 6-6. I think we definitely win Prairie View game. But in the SEC, my goodness, if you look at our stats, okay, we through 5 games we have more offense than the 5 teams we play. But when you take out Kent State, okay, it's a different story. And I don't think that if James King was the quarterback, our records could be any better, to be honest with you. When we are celebrating our punter as being one of our best players, Nick Costantino, who is doing a great job, you know that this is not an elite team. And I don't know. To me, we have a lot of problems. We need to remove Harlan Wedemeyer from the witness protection program. The guy has averaging 3 receptions a game, and he is one of our biggest weapons, figuratively and literally. And we need to. I don't know. It's. I don't know if you can tell. I am so frustrated right now. So frustrated. We talk about Mike Elko and all of the adjustments that he makes in the second half. First of all, let's make those adjustments in the second quarter, okay? Let's not wait till the second half. But was he at the game on Saturday?
He was there. They showed him up in the booth. Yeah, he was there.
What do you guys think? Am I crazy here?
Look, I am shocked by the defense. I am, because we have seen in the Arkansas game, the Colorado game, Kent State game as well, that second half adjustment, that just the light clicks, they start changing stuff up, and it starts working. We did not see that at all because it was the exact same thing in the second half, rinse and repeat. Mike Leach's guy, Will Rogers, just throwing to an open guy all game long with a 3-man front. And by the way, DeMarvin Leal actually had a good game. He was pushing his linemen into the quarterback, but nobody was breaking through.
Well, again, you only had 3 guys rushing. So it's hard to break through when it's 3 guys. And I think they should have recognized that wasn't working a lot earlier. That still, I come back to the defense gave up 21 points.
Joaquin, anything else, my friend?
Well, just a thought. Do you guys think we could maybe put the Wildcat in and use Ania Smith in that position, get him the ball more? The guy hardly has any touches this season.
I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you, Joaquin. I'm glad you brought that up because OB talked about that was it during the break or something? We were talking about we'd like to see that.
Just to break some things up, whether it be A-Chain or Spiller or Anias,
right?
Maybe desperate times calls for desperate measures.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so
Joaquin, that's a good call.
Yeah, he needs to call more often. I appreciate that. So we'll do this. I know a bunch of you are still on hold. I see you there, Jay, in College Station. Appreciate you, Drew, as well. We'll get to you guys in a moment. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're going to air our grievances. We'll take your phone calls here on the program when we come back. But right now, a moment for our friends at the Association of Former Students. They don't drop the ball. They're still winning out there, guys. They do such a wonderful job there. They are in support of that Aggie Network. They've been doing it for over 140 years, and your gifts have empowered them to be here, there, and everywhere. And thank you so much for that because you've opened up the doors for so many out there, so many Aggies, Midnight Yell Security, support of the MSC, the Fish Drill Team, the Parsons Mounted Cavalry, the ROTC Awards, the Cadets of Visitor Center, on and on until the break of dawn. For $100 a year, roughly, you get $9 a month. You're going to get that decal, the plaque, the Texas Aggie magazine. Plus, you're continuing in the oldest, most inspiring tradition of Aggies helping other Aggies. To learn more about the impact of the association, get involved or make a gift, visit aggienetwork.com/giving.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The 38th Annual National Night Out is tomorrow. Neighbors are asked to turn on their front porch lights and spend the evening outside with neighbors and law enforcement. Contact your local police station to host a block party. Local students will join thousands of other youth on athletic fields across the nation on Wednesday during the 18th Annual National Fellowship of Christian Athletes Fields of Faith event. Visit fieldsoffaith.com for details. The Texas A&M Art Galleries present Strokes of Genius, Gallery Talk and Reception with Michael Grauer, Thursday at 5:30 p.m. in the Start Galleries. St. Anthony's Catholic Church is holding a drive-through barbecue fundraiser on Sunday at their pavilion on Tabor Road. Food starts selling at 10:30 a.m. Your home for Houston Texans football is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. You can hear every game, home, road, all season long, right here on Aggieland's only all-sports station. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Lena Salon, baked or fried, Socorro, Second Chance Resale Shop, and Specialties Photography. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
This is Aaron Dawson.
And I'm Olivia Dawson.
Won't you join the Folds of Honor and Allen Academy by supporting the annual Cadet Golf Classic and Patriot Dinner hosted at Miramont Country Club, Sunday, October 17th through Tuesday, October 19th.
The Cadet Golf Classic is an 18th-hole, four-man scramble designed to raise scholarship funds for the families of fallen and disabled veterans through Folds of Honor, as well as financially supporting Allen Academy, an independent school in Bryan.
For more info or to register, please visit thecadet.org, and thank you for your support.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Lance Lester at the Lester Group, Zwerneman Flooring, and the Sleep Station. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on the Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Game day on the Zone starts 3 hours before kickoff with the Twin Peaks pregame show, and it's powered by TexAgs.com. Game day on the Zone is brought to you in part by Gage Gandy Bail Bonds, Bobcat of the Brazos Valley, Tradition, Mobile One Lube, and Frontier Communications. After listening into the pregame show, you can hear every Aggie football game, home road national championship, right here on Sports Radio 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Dal, some other. I mean, he made some, but he made some really good plays today too. I mean, let's go back now, and some of that too. It's not all Zach, and that's a couple pressures. And we missed a blitz one time down there in the red zone. They had a chance to be a one-on-one post, and we didn't pick up a blitz inside and didn't pick it up. So I mean, he had a couple plays at the end, but he got pressure. I'll have to look at that one on the safety. I don't know what happened, but he led us on some nice drives, made a touch scramble for a nice touchdown. They made a great touchdown throw on there on the other one. I'll look at one of the others in the red zone, but he's getting better and better each time he's in the side. His third game he's played, and we got to continue to play better around him too.
I agree. Play better around him. He has improved in some areas. Obviously, some areas not enough. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. And as we've told you for the last week now, October 8th, this Friday, we're going to be doing our show from Rollo Insurance for their grand opening. It's going to be fun. And they would like to give that moment to give back to the Down Syndrome Association of the Brazos Valley, which means so much to our community. Make a small donation to dsabv.org/Rollo2021 and make sure that your gift gets matched. They are prepared to match all your donation, dollar for dollar. No donation is too small. If you can give $5, Rollo's going to give $5 as well. It's going to be a great show. Jackson Schlossnagel and the band Nomadic are going to be performing 10 a.m. to 12:30. You've got to walk-up lunch from Taco Boss starting at 10:30. Meet and greet with Coach Schlossnagel, 11 a.m. to 11:30. The ribbon cutting at 11:30 as well. Go to rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs and submit your no-strings attached entry to win. You got a lot of great prizes possible. The Yeti Tundra Hall wheeled cooler, a $250 gift card, and a Glock 19X. You must be 21, a Texas resident, and legally eligible to obtain a firearm through an authorized dealer. Got a couple of callers we want to get into, but I'll at least set up this segment by it's the tradition of Festivus. You know about Festivus, right?
Still Festivus!
It's the airing of grievances where you tell your family how they have disappointed you over the last year. And I've got a lot of problems with you people. And now you're going to hear about it. And yes, you people being you, the fans. I'm just kidding. Well, some of you. Let's go to Drew in Waco, who wants to talk a little bit about this season on building a lack of last year's good season. Drew, thanks for calling.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Good morning, sir.
Good. My fandom dates back to when I was about 9, so that's about 40 years ago. I was thinking the other day, it just seems like we can never, as a program, as long as I've been following, except for that run in the mid-'80s and early '90s, we can never put together two great seasons. 98 had a stepping stone season, which should have been a stepping stone season. The same for 2012 and then now last year. It seems like we can never, those stepping stone seasons turn into seasons that people always talk about because there's never any follow-up to them. I don't know if it's, I guess mine's more of a philosophical question. Is it the complacency set in? My feeling is when you have those seasons, you have to work twice as hard to maintain it. And it just looks like as a program historically, we've just kind of rested on our laurels thinking it just comes easy. And Olin, this has a 1995 feel to it all over again for me personally.
I understand. And that's a pretty good comparison. I think that 2013, you're looking at two big years back to back, and A&M was in the process of having one. And what happened?
They didn't win a lot of games.
Johnny got
won.
hurt.
Why? There you go. Your starting quarterback got hurt.
Yep.
And this year, your starting quarterback got hurt. I don't think you can.
But
is it not on Zach? No.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. What?
Even 2013, the offense was not the problem. Even Johnny healthy, we still lost, know, 49-42 to Alabama. It's just always something that we can never put these things back to back, ever.
And I was telling you one of the things. I'm telling you one of the key reasons why. Sometimes you got to be lucky in, especially when you're still in the process of building the program that you want that's going to be really good for the long haul. And you're talking about stacking classes and stacking classes. You know, a hurt quarterback can be a big factor. Now, you know, if you're so good everywhere else, maybe, you know, if you're that Nebraska team and you lose Tommy Frazier, Brooke Behringer comes in, you don't miss a spot.
Right.
Anything. But it's not all on Zach Calzada, but he has struggled. And I believe that if there was a reason that Haynes King was your number one guy, and quite frankly, you think if Haynes King was not hurt, if you get one more touchdown with your number one guy, then there's a good chance you're 5-0 right now.
Yeah.
But does that mean the whole team is playing well? No. I think we may still be in that position where you go kind of like where Clemson was before Clemson got really good. They'd have a nice year, and then they'd disappoint, and they'd disappoint, and they would disappoint. And then they finally put it all together. But we talk about Dabo Swinney being one of the best coaches in the country, and he's having a bad year this year. But if you'll go back, you know, chart his career at Clemson, and it took him about 5 or 6 years to really get going.
Yeah, you just don't want to get too far down this year where you lose the momentum. You want to just somehow stay afloat as much as possible. And one bad year isn't going to derail what Jimbo's built.
I think this Mississippi State loss was a particularly punch in the gut because you could say, okay, Arkansas is getting a lot better. They're having their 1 year.
Right.
But now I'm coming home and, we needed the wake-up call, you know, the thing that I hate. And then you come out and you lose because you basically played soft. You played passive defense.
Yep.
And made mistakes.
I'm glad you said that because Jay in College Station on the BCSI hotline thinks the defense is getting a little too much flack. Jay, thanks for calling TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Thanks, guys. So, yeah, I know we all want to say, you know, the defense didn't play a great game. But, I mean, like you guys have said and like I've heard, I mean, we lost by 4 points. And what I think really hurt us is that second quarter. Instead of scoring 2 touchdowns in that second quarter, we go up and, you know, we kick 2 field goals.
Mm-hmm.
The first field goal we kicked, I know we don't want to put our people are saying it's not all of that, but that second quarter was all that to me. That the second quarter, we go down the field. We have to call a timeout because, you know, he's not looking at the play clock. So we either take the flag or we have to call a timeout. Then we stall out, so we have to kick the field goal. And then I believe it's still the second quarter. We go back down the field. And for some reason, the way that it looks on the television, the offense wasn't in the right play or wasn't set up correctly. So we have to call another timeout. And instead of keeping that momentum going, we have to stall. We stall out and we have to kick another field goal. Now, I think that's all on the quarterback. I mean, you've been in the system for 2 years now. You're supposedly supposed to understand the system by now. And I feel like he doesn't. I feel like he really doesn't have the buy-in from the team as far as, like, trusting him. And I think he doesn't trust himself.
Yeah, I can see a little bit of all that. Jay, thanks so much for the phone call. Look, he's, to me, got a fragile mind right now, right? And we saw it in the Colorado game. And any time you can help him out, and that's why I'm saying, like, the Demas interception, even though, to me, it wasn't Calzada's fault. I know there's some debate on the boards. That could have been a better throw. The throw was there. There enough, I should say. But those are the kind of plays you cannot have for a quarterback who is struggling with confidence. You know, and unfortunately for him, the touchdown he scrambled for, getting chewed out for not being ready to go for a 2-point conversion, while I totally understand it, I also think he needed a little pat on the back there too.
Yeah, I agree. He got sacked, if I'm not mistaken, on third down on both of those field goals, those field goal drives. Now, should he have checked to a different play? Should have found a hot receiver? You know, I don't know. You know, that's one of those things that coaches know who was supposed to do what, and none of us know unless they tell us
right
who was supposed to do what, and did somebody miss something? So, but the fact is, he was, if I'm not mistaken, sacked on third down on both of those field goals.
Yeah. 979-693-1150. We go to Wink in College Station, who talks about the lack of receivers making plays this year. Wink, thanks so much for calling the show.
So my question is it the lack of receivers we're missing on talent? Is it the receivers coach? Because the last elite receiver I remember A&M having, where it was game in, game out, not a glimpse of talent, but he was there every day, was Christian Kirk.
Okay.
I don't know if this year they've all been hurt. The guys you expected to start, the Caleb Chapmans of the world. Hez Jones, initially we thought he was going to be a starter or playing a significant role. He's been out, a veteran player. Chase Lane's missed the last 2 games. He's expected to be back this weekend. I mean, that's a lot of people with experience not playing.
So then his question is, all right, well, why is Demas not making the plays that he's supposed to be able to make? Why isn't Moose out there making plays? We did see Jalen Preston take a big step forward, and he blocked well downfield. And that's something that the previous last couple of years receivers did really well.
Right.
And haven't seen as much this year.
That was something I was really impressed by Mississippi State's wide receivers, their ability to block and get those guys loose.
So, listen, that's a valid point to bring up. The injury issue, I mean, that's a real thing. But again, some of those are the guys that are day to day.
Yeah.
But how long do you go day to day before you play? Is that because they're not being developed? I don't know. We've seen what Demas can do in flashes, right?
Yeah.
But again, that first pass is a pass you got to make. I want to see him get open more. I think somebody brought up earlier he was open, but they didn't throw to him.
Yeah, there was one that I believe he threw to Anias Smith and not Demas, who would have probably been the better option on that play. And perhaps a lack of confidence in your wide receiver there did it. Hey, Wink, we appreciate the call. Thanks so much.
Good questions.
Yep. Very good stuff. We still have another open segment if you guys want to get in. 979-693-1150, the BCSI hotline. We do have some text messages to read on the A&B text line when we come back with Anna Rosa Peterson right now. I want to talk about Chance McClain and Heritage Films. They make documentary films for me, it's about my dad. He's going to do it. In fact, he emailed me today like, David, you need to schedule your appointment. And, I have not done that. It's kind of been busy with this football season going on. That's no excuse because I think, all of us can set it up right now, guys. If it's for your parents, if it's for yourself, if it's for your grandfather, whoever it may be, Chance is the most creative guy I know, and he does such a wonderful job of telling your story Hollywood-esque, guys. I mean, talking about this is like big league production right here, Hollywood style, A&E, Netflix, you name it. He'll tell your story, and why not have it preserved for generations to come? Because this game of telephone, the stories get lost. My dad's told me his story many, many times. I can't tell his story the way he tells his story. So why not have it on tape to be able to tell his story? My mom as well. Like they all have, different things. For our family, it was fleeing Cuba in the 60s. You've got a story too. Maybe you've got, just whatever it may be, your story needs to be told. And that's why Chance comes to College Station to do it, because he knows Aggies care about their story much more than other places, right? His daughter Gunn goes to school here. He understands the Aggie-rich tradition. Check out yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341.
This is The Zone, Aggieland's all-sports station.
Chili Fest and Miller Lite proudly present Friday Night Lights from Wolfden Creek Amphitheater. Friday, October 8th. Live on stage, it's John Bauman, Shane Smith and the Saints, to wash away New Orleans, Josh Abbott Band, you gotta live while you got it, and headliner Robert Earl Keane.
We lived in College Station, Texas. We was Aggies.
Get your tickets online now at chilifest.org. Miller Brewing Company. Great beer, great responsibility. 21 means 21.
VeraBank is open and we are excited to serve you in College Station. Hi, this is Erica Archer, Treasury Management Officer at VeraBank, and I specialize in helping businesses run their day-to-day operations more efficiently, saving you valuable time. Our team's job is to make yours easier. So give us a call or come by and see us off of Highway 6. At VeraBank, you have a team of genuine bankers on your side, and you can bank on it.
Visit verabank.com today. That's VERA bank.com. VeraBank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Bryan Broadcasting is your home for high school football. Bryan High, A&M Consolidated, Rudder, and College Station High play on the Bryan Broadcasting family of stations. No matter where you are, hear every play, every game, all season long, thanks to Prosperity Bank, Kelly Burt Dozer, Zwerneman Flooring, and BCS Toyota. To find out when and where to hear your favorite team, go to brazosfootball.com.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. Opening a My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal record and interactive tools tailored for you. You can see if you are eligible to receive benefits, view spousal benefit estimates, and compare retirement benefit estimates at different ages or dates when you want to start receiving benefits. Already receiving benefits? Use your account to change your address, set up or change direct deposit, get a proof of income letter, and more. In most states, you can also request a replacement Social Security card. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
You can hear Astros baseball all season and postseason long on Sports Radio 1150 and 93.7 FM plus Gospel 97.3 FM. Thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. The Astros look to make another World Series run. You can hear the games on The Zone or on Gospel 97.3 FM thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. The Houston Astros, the World Series. Listen in, all thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer.
TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Going to be there on Friday. Can't wait. Kinney Brothers are going to join us. Billy, obviously. Coach Sloss will be there. It'll be fun. OB, we've gotten a lot of callers today, and I think everyone's been very rational. I understand everybody's points, from the wide receivers to the defense. Is it on the defense? Is it on Zach? And where Zach has done a good job and whatnot. We got a couple more callers to get to, but I think it's only fair to go to the A&B text line. Anna Rosa Peterson's got a couple of those to get into the show.
Oh, I got more than a couple, but we'll just focus on a few right now. Robbie in Dallas wants me to let you know that he didn't flip any tables after the game, so that's good.
So Robbie, he tweeted me, and he said, Nuno, you better not give me any positivity on Monday, or I'm going to flip some tables. I'm like, please flip a table. Come flip the studio table. See what happens.
That's a pretty heavy table. I don't know about that, but
he's actually a very nice guy. But
he is.
We're all very angry for good reason. And yeah, there's nothing to be positive about after that one. Go ahead,
Anna.
Anna Rosa.
We're being real over here. Grinder says, I was heartbroken after the game. Sorrow turned to extreme anger after the insults hurled at us by ESPN about the Kyle Field intimidation factor. Do we just let this go? I'm not thin-skinned, but enough is enough.
I don't care. People, look, I know what it felt like on the field on that final drive, even though it was very anticlimactic and a very quick end to the game. How electric was it, that last defensive stance and that start of a very poor ending to the game? It was crazy ridiculous out there.
I've always said that Kyle Field is not, it's one of the greatest atmospheres, but it's not a hostile environment.
Okay.
Well, we were chanting about a bird, so.
Because, well, Aggies are too well-behaved. And do you really want to become the D-bags from other places that are throwing, think of the Colorado folks. Is that who you want to be?
Nope.
So, I think it's a great atmosphere, but I just don't think it's a hostile environment.
Let's see if we can squeeze in a couple calls here. Richard in Ennis wants to talk about the death. Welcome to TexAgs Radio.
Hi, Olin and David. Just have a quick observation and comment. I think what's been frustrating we're all frustrated. We know that. And one thing I think that's been a little more frustrating to us is I think a lot of us were the understanding of, with the recruiting classes and the strength of them that we've had the past few years, that the overall depth in the program was stronger than it looks like it is now. And maybe we had too high of a perception on that. And maybe the depth has not quite been built up to the level we thought it was. And I think that's where some of the frustration has come in, is that we'd all felt like, yeah, we had injuries. No doubt we've had a ton of injuries, but we've kind of had the thought that we had enough depth built up that we could still be able to win games against teams such as Arkansas and Mississippi State, even despite all the injuries.
Richard,
and that was just a quick comment I wanted to make. And if y'all want to elaborate a little on it, please do.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Richard. And I'll say this. I think, because I felt this, I thought A&M had elevated themselves to that category of Georgia and Bama. That, you know what, a new offensive line, a new running back, a new wide receiver, a new quarterback, you may take a little bit of a step back, but it won't be for too long. Unfortunately, I was way wrong on that, OB.
Well, yeah. I think when you I think if you look at the offensive line and quarterbacks, though, your depth is still pretty young.
Yeah. That is OB. That is the Go Hour. Billy Liucci coming up next. Michael, I see you. We'll try to get to you if we can here in the next hour. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
I can do this.
We believe in you.
Each day brings hope.
Every day, millions of people celebrate their recovery from addiction and mental illness while others begin their journey. Be a part of it. Share your strength, support, and hope. Join the Voices for Recovery. Together, we are stronger. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral for mental and substance use disorders for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
My name is Bobby. I'm a veteran and lost my leg to a roadside bomb. My victory was going from a wheelchair to becoming a weightlifting champion.
I'm Sam. I'm a veteran. My victory was finding a career I can be proud of and supporting my family.
America's veterans are on their most important tour, the tour of their lives.
I'm a veteran. My victory was going from homeless to home.
At DAV, we're on a mission to help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran, and my victory was finishing my education.
DAV offers veterans of all generations a lifetime of support for victories great and small.
My victory was proving that disability is not a limitation.
My victory was getting my service dog a new best friend.
We help more than 1 million veterans every year as they face and conquer their challenges.
My victory is being able to be there for my family.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
This is Aggieland's home for Aggie football, Aggie basketball, and Aggie baseball. Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Plus online at RadioAggieland.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. After September's record number of pandemic cases and deaths, Brazos County's health authority is hopeful that the local numbers will start going down as they have elsewhere in the state.
We're starting to see some improvement a bit, and we still have a lot of work. I feel like we're kind of one of the last ones here to come through. It really feels that way.
Dr. Seth Sullivan told local reporters on Friday that among the struggles is determining if there are local pandemic hotspots like Aggie football games and high school events. A San Angelo man spent part of the weekend in the Brazos County jail after biting the cheek of a Brazos County deputy constable. A College Station police officer wrote in his arrest report that the deputy was bleeding while the deputy was trying to put the man in handcuffs outside a Northgate bar. 27-year-old Juan Molina Jr. is out of jail after posting bonds totaling $25,000. For the third time in 8 months, a College Station woman is arrested on traffic charges. That's after a Texas A&M police officer wrote in his arrest report that a car in a Northgate parking lot Friday afternoon momentarily drove towards his patrol vehicle at a high rate of speed before passing by, then narrowly missed, hitting several parked vehicles. 27-year-old Antronice Pratt was charged with reckless driving, fleeing, assaulting, and harassing officers, and 2 counts of resisting arrest. While October is barely underway, the Zone and all of our Bryan broadcasting stations want to give you a heads up on our return the end of this month to Halloween Town. It's the second year of our partnership with the Destination Bryan Tourism Office.
Yes, we're really excited to again be partnering with Bryan Broadcasting for Halloween Town. October 29th. This was a new event we did last year. It was extremely successful. It's a free, family-friendly trick-or-treating event in downtown.
Destination Bryan's Caitlin Brown says Halloween Town, which is the last Friday in October, includes trick-or-treating and kids' crafts. For more news, go online to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Howdy, it's me, the Roofer Girl, Rainy Night, Class of 90. Aggieland Roofing is proud to promote Breast Cancer Awareness Month by donating a portion of every roof sold in the month of October to Pink Alliance, Brazos Valley's very own breast health and support advocate. Join us by supporting our local women and urge every woman to get a mammogram. If your roof needs are large or small, commercial or residential, make the official roofer of Texas A&M your roofer. Thank you for your support. Shop local, shop licensed, and call me, the Roofer Girl, at Aggieland Roofing.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. 15th ranked Texas A&M football dropped its second straight Saturday, falling to Mississippi State 26-22 at Kyle Field. Coach Jimbo Fisher after the loss.
I think our kids played hard, disappointed in the outcome, that we got to play better. In those games where every possession matters, every play matters, every situation matters, and we got to play better, execute better, and we got to coach better and find ways to help them just find those plays. I know it sounds like, but that's it. We got to help them. They got to play better.
With the loss, Jimbo and the guys fall to 3-2 on the year and out of the AP Top 25. Now, for more insight into the season, tune into the Liucci Hour tonight from 6 to 7 right here on The Zone. It was a rough weekend for Aggie soccer as well, as the ladies fell to number 12 Tennessee Friday 3-1 at Ellis Field. Meanwhile, volleyball was able to bounce back from a Friday night loss in Knoxville. They nipped the 20th-ranked Lady Vols yesterday in 5 sets. With the win, the Maroon and White improved to 10-4 overall and 3-1 in SEC play. A&M women's tennis closed out the final day of the HEB Invitational with 5 wins in Waco, and a total of 6 Aggie men will participate in the pre-qualifying draw of the ITA Men's All-American Championships today in Tulsa. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
The Liucci Hour Happy Hour is a must part of any Aggie football season. Join Billy Liucci of TexAgs and Zach Taylor, the Infomaniac, every Monday and Thursday at 6 at the Tap, or listen in right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Liucci Hour Happy Hour every Monday, Thursday at 6 is brought to you by King Ranch Saddle Shop. Also brought to you in part by B&B Automotive. It's the Liucci Hour Happy Hour.
Hey guys, good morning to you. Sunshines and rays here, TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Trying to figure out when we're going to get Billy on the show. We'll have him here momentarily. They'll let me know here, but we'll get into a couple things that I wanted to get into in the last hour. We have a couple callers to get to, so we'll start things off with Michael in Bryan, who wants to talk a little bit about the game here on the BCSI hotline. Michael, thanks for calling TexAgs Radio. Hello, Michael.
They kept throwing
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You there? Okay. The Mississippi kept throwing a 5 to 7 yard pass, and it was successful every stinking time. Is there anything that our defense can do to stop those types of plays? Because they could take that play and run up and down the field all day long last night or on Saturday.
That was their version of a run. We knew that they were going to try to attempt to do that. Last year against Mississippi State, A&M used a similar defense than we saw last on Saturday, and it worked. It didn't work this time. They were a little shorter routes, and there was no pressure. And to me, it goes back to the pressure. 100% it goes back to the pressure that they were not able to put with a 3-man front, maybe a 4-man front, maybe some more blitz packages to make Will Rogers uncomfortable, especially knowing he is not a running quarterback. He was just playing catch out there. Michael, we appreciate your call.
Yeah, he was playing catch, and it
Go ahead.
It looked a little bad for the defense.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your phone call, Michael. We're going to get Billy on the show now here on the BCSI hotline. Good morning, Billy.
Hey, what up?
What up, man? So,
not much.
Yeah, not a lot. I know you've been busy, man. We just had an awkward silence here. You there, Billy?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So, I guess we'll start things off, Billy. I mean, we're trying to figure out answers, where they go from here, what happened. You and I broke it down on the Luchador podcast. I'd love for folks to go check that out on TexAgs.com. Really good stuff. But just where do we start today? How do you turn this season salvageable moving forward?
Well, there's a million ways to do that, but the problem that I think everybody, including a few and I sitting here, and it's Jimbo Fisher and players' toughest task, is the problem is who's next. You know, like if you flip the schedule around a little bit and you put Alabama the week before and by the way, I'm not complaining about the schedule. This was as laid up a schedule. Part of the frustration, it was as laid up a schedule as A&M could ever have. You know, you had some linemen that didn't want to come back, that didn't get drafted. You have your starting quarterback go and get hurt in game 2. And it's been, I had someone tell me that we were making excuses. It's like, I guess they're just not paying attention to the importance of these things. You know, you don't have your linemen come back. Arkansas has players come back in droves. There's, you know, certainly a difference in that one. If you don't think losing your starting quarterback has the potential to be devastating, look around college football this year or any year for that matter. But the schedule was laid up, and that's part of the frustration. I mean, this was set up perfectly. Now, you would love to have returned some O-linemen and a QB, and that was our big concern in terms of what could hold this team back, not what would make them bad or fighting to make a bowl game or trying to stay out of 7th place in the West. But you certainly thought that could be what would hold them back, right? But the schedule was laid up there. But I'm just saying, the reason it's hard to kind of sit here and go, oh, how do they get this turned around, is because of the behemoth that's just standing in the doorway right now. As you're trying to like get out of this panic room, I guess you'd say, and they're right at the doorway is this giant elephant with the number 1 on his chest with Nick Saban riding it, and you're not getting past that. So it's like, before we can see any kind of light at the end of the tunnel, you've got this game Saturday night. And man, to add to the kind of, you know, how disheartened we all feel and how frustrating it is you thought this was going to be the game. And I think we all did. And I picked A&M to be 10-2, and I thought it was going to be the game. I thought A&M would be 5-0. I was one that thought a couple of those games were going to be dangerous for this young team, but I thought the Aggies would find a way because they were just better than Arkansas and Colorado and Mississippi State. And I thought we'd be talking about College game day and the biggest game in college football, with the mid-season, with Clemson, Georgia being the early season. And here we are, and game day's going to Dallas for the Cotton Bowl because Texas has gotten humiliated by Arkansas and played 4 Sisters of the Poor, the old Southwest Conference. But that seems to be the better path, I guess, because right now the Aggies are sitting at 3-2 and staring at 3-3 in the face at midseason. If you had Missouri and South Carolina up next and then Alabama, I think the tone would be at least a little different today, because those are games. They're games you have to win and you better win, but they're certainly winnable. But you can't see past what's coming up Saturday, and the Aggies are staring at a 0-3 start to SEC play because they're about to play the best team in college football, and they didn't look any. You got to go into that thing, with momentum, right? And they're going in with none.
Billy, how much? And look, I've been called an optimist, and I'm not trying to be an optimist here, but how much can we look at the fact that they have played poorly, very bad? The defense played horrendous, but they still gave up enough points that you can win that game. You had a chance. Is there anything there because you're in these games as bad as I think you have played, or no, it doesn't matter? A loss is a loss, and you've been bad.
I think there is. Not when you're going to go play the Alabama Crimson Tide, but I think there is for the season. Like they're not playing well at all. They don't have confidence that they can make the big play when they have to, whether it's Calzada missing Weidemeyer or Anias. But Weidemeyer for probably a 40-plus yard gain, and Anias for a game-winning touchdown, or whether it's hang on, Nuno, we got barking dog. Whether it's those the plays in the clutch, or getting that big sack or takeaway and stop when you need to. Regardless, they don't have the confidence. It doesn't feel like that they'll make that play. Yet, like you said, there they are in the fourth quarter with the ball against Arkansas to tie. There they are with a real shot to win. Arkansas, they still had to drive down the field, and there were a lot of ifs and buts there, but they were still in it, no question. And then you look and you go in the fourth quarter against Mississippi State, they're there to win it. I mean, there's an open receiver, and you see him, and you throw it to him with from the 22-yard line for what should have been 6, and you're moving the ball down the field in the fourth quarter. I think not once but twice to try to, to try to take the lead. Both, twice, 2 scores there late, and so, I mean, yeah, that's reason for encouragement. Missouri, South Carolina getting to the bye, Auburn. LSU doesn't look anything. They look nothing like world beaters. Ole Miss, I think, is a big fat to be determined because, yes, they're beatable. They're not a top 5 team by any stretch, but it's in Oxford. You damn sure better go in there with offense. So we'll kind of make that a TBD and see what happens with Haynes King coming back, and if this O-line can stick together for a few weeks and finally build on something. But, there is reason for optimism in terms of the people going, man, I don't know if we're going to win another game. Man, this is going to be the last place. There's reason to go, maybe you can finish this season in the second half on an encouraging note. That's where we're at today, unfortunately. When you go 0-2 in the SEC and Bama's up next, and you haven't played a good game yet, that's where you're at. Is you're looking to go, hey, can the second season be something that propels you forward and makes you one of these teams that everybody in the country goes, hey, look at A&M. They a really nice in-season turnaround after that 3-3 start. Like we said yesterday, it happens every year. It's going to happen to a couple teams in the SEC. Why not make A&M be one of them? So because of that, I think you're on to something.
Billy, sitting where we are today,
maybe.
If they win 8 games this year, where they are at right now, before a bowl, okay, would you consider that a success knowing where that they are today?
Before a bowl, so they're 3-3, let's say after Bama, and you'd have them going 5-1 down the stretch. Prairie View doesn't really count, so 4-1 down the stretch. Yeah, I'd call that. I'd be really encouraged, especially if King returned and the offense kind of went, took off a little bit and became a lot more pleasant and less frustrating to watch and a lot more efficient. That would be, you would be talking about, David, really what you'd be talking about would be the Aggies going, you'd be talking about them going 2-1 against Auburn, LSU, and Ole Miss, in my opinion. So I think if they were to do that, I would still have to say win a bowl to go with that, because if they got to 9-4, you'd be talking about really going 5-1 down the stretch against 6 legitimate teams, not counting Prairie View, and you finish 6-1 down the stretch, and again, I think you'd have Haynes King back, and I think you'd see the offense kind of trending upward, and you'd see a team that didn't quit and lay down at the mid-season point, which is, I know a lot of people are talking and thinking that is a real possibility when I read the boards and talk to our friends and stuff. And if that to me, if they got to 9-4, David, I'm going to include the bowl game, because I want to see the finish, and I want to go. Here's what you want to do. You want to look back on this team and go, damn, if they wouldn't have had those injuries early in the season, not to say they would have been a playoff contender. They've got too many holes. There's too much youth. The defense has not been nearly what we thought it would be, to be perfectly honest. It hasn't been close. And but if they did that down the finish, Nuno, I think you could look at that team and go, if it weren't for the QB injury and just, chaos up front at the very beginning, they could have been a 10-2 team, and probably would have been. If you can look at the team at the end of the year and say that, then I think you feel pretty damn good about the recovery.
All right, we're going to put Liucci there on hold on the BCSI hotline. We appreciate Liucci coming in. We'll talk to him more in a moment. Right now, though, I want to remind you to text radio to 1-833-638-6248. There's a new number, guys, 833-638-6248. Text radio there for your chance to win the Big Friday giveaway, courtesy of our friends at Aggieland Outfitters. We're going to unveil that winner during the 10 o'clock hour of the Friday show. And here it is, guys. It is a beautiful Texas A&M Big Cotton Charcoal Jacket, valued at $74.99. It is very thick, great material in here. Thick color block jacket that will sure keep you warm during all the cold days out here. Again, I've told you this many times about Aggieland Outfitters, but they only pick the garments with the best material, and this is one of those. The top half is black with a collar, bottom half of jacket being gray. It also has the maroon A&M on the left side of the chest. Very thick as it gets closer to being very cold out here. This is the kind of jacket you're going to want to wear on game days, around town, wherever it may be. It is a beauty out there. You can get that at Aggieland Outfitters for $74.99. Make sure you stop by next time you're in town or check them out online. It is Aggieland Outfitters.
This is the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Chili Fest and Miller Lite proudly present Friday Night Lights from Wolfden Creek Amphitheater. Friday, October 8th. Live on stage, it's John Bauman, Shane Smith and the Saints, Josh Abbott Band, and headliner Robert Earl Keane.
We lived in College Station, Texas. We was Aggies.
Get your tickets online now at chilifest.org. Miller Brewing Company. Great beer, great responsibility. 21 means 21.
Howdy, Ags. This is Dr. Krishna Shanmugam from BCS Eye Associates. I'm a fellowship-trained cornea and glaucoma specialist and eye surgeon, but most importantly, fighting Texas Aggie class of 2007. I was born in Aggie, raised in Aggie, and now back into Brazos Valley to serve Aggieland, the incredible place that made me the person that I am today. We're the only fellowship-trained glaucoma, cornea, and cataract surgeon in town, and would be delighted to take care of you locally for your eye exam and your eye surgery needs. Give us a call to schedule an appointment today with Dr. K at BCS Eye Associates at 979-701-2020 or visit mybcsi.com.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Pioneer Steel, Gulf States Toyota, and Amarillo National Bank. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around, and every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect, in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage.
The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorps Connect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
Listening to The Zone on your Amazon Daughter Echo is easy. Even Louie figured it out. 2 simple steps, and you can hear Chip Howard Sports Talk, TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, and many of your favorite A&M teams anytime, anywhere with your special friend, Alexa. Step 1, and only one time, say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then anytime you want to hear your favorite host or teams, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. Make sure to set it all up and say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill, and listen in anytime just by saying, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
Yeah, that's one thing we gotta do. When we get the ball, we gotta, we haven't been scoring. Like the first drive, we got the ball, so we gotta go to practice, and work on that. Working out, coming out fast and strong.
A-Chain, fast and strong, without a doubt. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. I want to remind you guys that all guests and callers join the show on the BCSI hotline. And right now, they are proud to announce their fall LASIK special. Call 979-701-2020. You mentioned TexAgs or myself, you're going to get a free LASIK consult and $400 off of your custom LASIK surgery. With that, we go to that BCSI hotline. We are rejoined by Billy Liucci here on TexAgs Radio. And Luch, there's a question that keeps popping up, and I've seen it on the YouTube page, and I've seen it on the boards a little bit. Why can other schools with backup quarterbacks not miss a step? And I think they're pointing at Georgia as the big example there. Georgia's got different type of injury situations than A&M has. One of the guys even brings up Arkansas. I think that is a completely different situation there at Arkansas and at Auburn as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring up Arkansas.
But your thoughts on...
and you know what? Maybe A&M should have taken a look at TJ Finley, who was interested in transferring not only to Auburn, but A&M was a school that there was some interest. But look, they believed in Zach Calzada as the backup. And that's what TJ Finley was. That's what Auburn viewed him as. That's what other schools viewed him as. So, and by the way, TJ Finley beat Georgia State at the end. Let's remember that. So if you want to compare Finley and Calzada, Calzada went and beat Colorado at the end, and TJ Finley beat Georgia State at the end. Now you could have gotten a guy with some SEC experience, no question. That would have been a plus, but at the same time, I think so. Backup success at Georgia, Stetson Bennett, the dude. Yeah, I mean, I wish they could have that kind of production, but I also wish that the A&M defense. Did they hold Arkansas to 0 points last I checked?
No, 20.
Is that true?
No, they gave them 20.
Who did? No, Georgia.
Oh, Georgia. Sorry. I thought you were talking about the Arkansas A&M game.
Georgia shut them out, correct?
Correct.
If A&M shut Georgia out, don't you think Zach Calzada would walk off the field a winner? I mean, I know Stetson Bennett's playing better. Stetson has some experience, but the thing Stetson could do that, people kept pointing out, why didn't A&M run the ball against Arkansas like Georgia did? Well, they're not as experienced up front, and Stetson Bennett ran the ball and hurt them with his legs when the game was going. He's a talented dude. I wish you wish A&M could just sit there and do it, but you look around the country and you don't see a whole lot of that. And there's no question that Zach's struggling too. By the way, I'm not trying to say that he's what you have to expect with a backup quarterback when they come in, especially now. He started his third game the other night. But I don't think if you're just sitting there trying to say that, hey, everybody else can lose their starter and be fine, that's not even close to being the case. That's not even close to being the case. I mean, I watched a guy last night, on Monday Night Football, in Mac Jones, who looked pretty amazing as a rookie quarterback for the Patriots. When Tua got hurt a couple of years ago, Mac Jones lost to, and it's all relative, guys. So don't go comparing stats here, okay? Because he had Ruggs and Judy and Waddle and a Heisman winner to throw to, and Najee Harris to hand the ball off to, and all veteran offensive line. So it's not apples to apples. My point is this: Mac Jones had one of the greatest years in college football history last season. Threw for almost 500 yards in the national title game. When he had to replace Tua, I think he had one little warm-up start and then played against Auburn, and he threw a devastating pick six, and I think he threw 3 interceptions, and mighty Alabama lost to their arch rival due primarily to mistakes by Mac Jones. So it's not I expect to see, Zach has to take strides and get better, and we saw modest strides, I think, Saturday night, but that wasn't enough. You need him to be a little more of a playmaker there in the fourth quarter. He made that great run late in the third and made some good throws, and you need him to connect on that game winner. I mean, it's just the way it is. And but yeah, I don't want to downplay losing your starting quarterback just because you can go find some examples of teams that have done well without. I mean, we'll see what you saw. Notre Dame, they've had some quarterback issues after losing a trusted, very poised, winning senior, and you look at them this year. So it's, for everyone you can give me an example of, I can give you 3 where it's caused major problems.
Billy, I'm not one to point at the backup quarterback situation, say you this or that, but I will say I think Haynes is good for a little bit more offense regardless. If you are in these games against Arkansas and against Mississippi State, I do think his ability to run gives you an added element that you don't have with Zach. Yeah, he was able to scramble and get a nice touchdown, but it's a different part of his game. And with Haynes, I think he's worth another touchdown or 10 points by just having him out there.
I do too. I absolutely do. And I think certainly by now too, some people I've seen point to, well, he threw 3 interceptions in game 1. Well, 2 of them we dissected, and we don't even know who really that goes on. And secondly, so what? That was his first start. He made a bunch of plays in that game too, and he flashed what he can really do. By now I think Haynes King would be hitting his stride, and I think this offense, I know, and if you disagree with me, then just sit back and wait and find out, but it would look a hell of a lot different. And considering the way those games went, certainly could have been enough to get A&M over the top. And again, like I said, would Haynes King be a Heisman candidate? No, not as a freshman. Would this defense have no question marks? Would the O-line be just shoving people around and giving King all day to throw? No. Do I think the Aggies would have a really good chance to have beaten Mississippi State and Arkansas? Yeah.
Let's go to Anna Rosa Peterson for a question or two. We got to hit a break here in a moment, so let's just get one text message in, Anna.
All right. Do we want questions or texts?
Just get just a text in right now.
Okay. Ernesto in Louisiana says, where can I get a booster vaccine for my battered Aggie syndrome? And Matt in San Angelo says, understand the caller from Waco earlier, but back-to-back or more great seasons requires depth and development. Do we have either or maybe just one of those? We need both. Jimbo is building, but this was a punch in the gut. He is going to have to earn his money the rest of the year and maybe replace a few recruiter coaches with development coaches moving forward.
Billy, the depth question comes up, and unfortunately, we got a lot of young players that I think in the next 12 to 16 months we're going to see a huge difference from these guys. Unfortunately, they're in the fire right now.
Yeah, I mean, particularly in the secondary and on the O-line. You played Mississippi State, and you thought you'd have Brian George, and you thought you'd have Miles Jones, and you don't right now, and you might not for a while when they're both foot injuries. And, with Miles, I mean, it's just been a disaster for him trying to come back. And, same with Luke Matthews, unfortunately. You've lost those 2 to injury. It's just been a mess for them trying to get back, and it just stinks for those kids. And it really hurts for the team when you thought that was your center and that was your opposite corner. Do I think A&M misjudged the cornerback position a little. Yeah, I think they probably should have looked at that scene and been like, we might need to go portal here, even with Miles and George. I mean, there was such a gap. And you knew Miles was hurt on some level. You thought he could come back. You hoped he could recover better than what's happened, but there still was such a drop between the two Joneses, and then it's like after that, then what? And I do think they probably should have, in hindsight, gone into that portal and gotten some help there. But I love what I saw from Tyreek Chappelle the other night. But you start a game with two freshmen. That's not a formula. That's not a formula for success in the SEC. Two true freshmen on the O-line and two true freshmen in the secondary for an SEC game. Man, no, that's not how you draw it up. That's for sure. So they do have a weird pocket, like this little bubble that they've hit in terms of depth at a couple of positions where you were like, yeah, I really like the youth there. But like it's like this one-off year here where you're going, not a good situation. And at both positions, it had a little to do with injury, but it also had to do with some recruiting misses at the end of the Sumlin tenure and that first year, and even on the O-line, even that second year under Jimbo.
All right, Billy, we'll hold it right there. We'll come back with Billy Liucci and get your takeaways from this past weekend. Right now, though, fall is basically here. Milliken Reserve time means they're going to have that pumpkin chunkin' stuff there with Pumpkin Palooza 2021. It's the 9th year they've been bringing it to the Brazos Valley, and they'll be across all that weekend of Saturday, October 16th and 17th. Check out pumpkinpaloozabcs.com. You've got the festival on the 16th and the 17th. It's going to be a great, great time. Open Air Festival will take place on both of those days from 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock. You got some fishing out there, canoeing, pumpkin chunking. Got the music festival. That's going to be a great, great time on the 16th, starting at 5 o'clock. You've got the trail run as well, 7 a.m. It's been put on by the First Light Racing. You can choose between a marathon, half marathon, 10K, 5K. Learn more or register at racefirstlight.com. Visit pumpkinpaloozabcs.com to learn more or purchase your tickets. It's going to be a great, great time. Pumpkin Palooza 2021.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The Sexual Assault Resource Center invites you to their primary fundraising event, the Evening Under the Stars Gala, this Friday at the Brownstone Reserve. Purchase tickets online at sarkbv.org. The Salvation Army is now accepting Angel Tree applications for any child in Brazos County 12 and under. Apply by Friday at saangeltree.org. New Zion Missionary Baptist Church invites you to a community outreach event on Saturday starting at 8 a.m. The event includes music, food, voter registration, free COVID vaccinations, and more. St. Thomas More Catholic Church is holding its fall fish fry on Saturday from 11 to 3 at the Community Center at Hilltop Lakes. Your home for the NFL with Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night NFL from Westwood One is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Listen in from the first week to the Super Bowl on Aggieland's Home for Sports. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Save Our Streets Ministries is celebrating its 20th annual banquet Rise on Tuesday, October 5th at 6:30. Sponsored by Galleria Spa Salon Boutique and KBTX Media. SOS has invested in lives to rescue, restore, and release families from drug and gang-infested environments where abuse, poverty, and violence are a way of life.
We're in our critical hour, but our finest hour. I just don't want to read about great exploits. I want to be one. Church of the Living God, it's time for us to rise.
Visit SaveOurStreetsMinistries.org/rise and help us save our streets.
This is Aaron Dawson.
And I'm Olivia Dawson.
Won't you join the Folds of Honor and Allen Academy by supporting the annual Cadet Golf Classic and Patriot Dinner hosted at Miramont Country Club, Sunday, October 17th through Tuesday, October 19th.
The Cadet Golf Classic is an 18th-hole, four-man scramble designed to raise scholarship funds for the families of fallen and disabled veterans through Folds of Honor, as well as financially supporting Allen Academy, an independent school in Bryan.
For more info or to register, please visit thecadet.org, and thank you for your support.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family,
Brazos Wellness,
Brazos Valley Bride,
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with John T. Edge about his TV show, True South.
But I think all of it's about a belief in place, a belief in the South, a belief in the people who live here, flawed though we may be, working towards something better. You know, that's as I get older, that's kind of what everything's about.
Sports Talk, taking you on a journey each weekday afternoon from 4 to 6 on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.